Shaq's house. Shaq's house. That's our Shaq. You're now in Shaq's house. Welcome to Shaq's house.
Hey, what's up, Shaq Houses? How you doing? It's your boy, the one and only Shaq House. Yes! First and foremost, Happy New Year. It's the first week of 2024. Yeah, 2023, that's behind us now. That's behind us, yeah. Moving on to newer and better things. What are we talking about today? The Battle of the X-Machines. That's right. What happens when Cerebro and the Danger Room become walking, talking, bipedal sentient entities? What happened when that, well, what occurred when that happened to them? And what did they do? Which one of them has greater longevity? Yeah, Danger, she's been around for a long time compared to the bipedal Cerebro because, well, she had a better reception. People liked her under Joss Whedon's run. What am I talking about? Cerebro versus the Danger Room. Check it out.
Cerebro. Designed by Charles Xavier and originally known as Cyberno, Cerebro is a technological device whose primary function is to detect and catalog the world's mutants. The device constantly sweeps the globe by piggybacking pre-existing satellite projections in search of aberrations in electromagnetic brainwave activity that are most often attributed to mutants. But various environmental factors, such as the degradation of the Earth's ozone layer, can limit the device's performance. Cerebro's computer systems can pinpoint a mutant's geographical location, roughly measure the mutant's power level, and even specify the mutant's identity if sufficient data exists within its systems. Cerebro has an extremely large 500 petabyte storage capacity. While its performance is significantly improved when operated by a trained, psychic-sensitive mutant like a telepath, it's also user-friendly to non-mutants with proper training. But those unskilled in the use of its operations place themselves at risk of serious mental trauma or even death due to the strain the device can place on the mind. Also, extended use of Cerebro can result in a low-grade REM sleep disruption as well. At one point, Cerebro became an autonomous and self-motivating entity after exposure to the nanotechnology based on Bastion's Prime Sentinels. This allowed Cerebro to form new and various bodies for itself using base nanotech to create them. The prime directive of its original programming remained: to scan for mutant energy signatures around the globe and to locate, identify, track, and catalog both mutants and latent mutants. It contained the full scope of Xavier's databanks on the X-Men and other identified mutants, their personalities, and tactical notes, including the full Xavier protocols for targeting and eliminating each member of the X-Men if necessary. The nanotech in its systems allowed Cerebro to adapt to situations as needed, manifesting new weapons or features for each given set of circumstances. Cerebro could even create an imposing physical form for itself, which possessed a superhuman level of strength and resilience, as well as nano-regenerative properties if the body was damaged or dismembered. It could also morph into different shapes, such as when it manifested new specialized countermeasures against opponents, or even assume a human appearance, such as when it posed as Professor X. It could create multiple bodies for itself, secondary entities with the same capabilities as the original known as Cerebrites, which were controlled by the central hub of Cerebro Prime. Some fun facts. Xavier has created several versions of Cerebro over the years. As stated before, Cyberno was the first, and that model was used to find Scott Summers, aka Cyclops. Xavier updated the system as Cerebro after realizing that an enhanced version could locate more mutants. Now, the original Cerebro was simply a control panel built into Xavier's desk that projected images of mutants it detected, as well as a multi-frequency booster enabling Cerebro to pinpoint mutant locations. More additions followed, including an emergency circuit that would automatically activate Cerebro upon detecting a mutant signal. Cerebro soon grew to require a dedicated chamber within the mansion, and Xavier continued to upgrade the technology, even creating small portable versions. Cerebro was later seriously upgraded with alien Shi'ar technology, and this upgrade allowed Cerebro to have a powerful computer core and an interface helmet that could amplify the user's telepathic powers. But after the demise of Cerebro Prime, Xavier built a new version. He significantly upgraded it to consist of a large spherical chamber with a suspended walkway leading to the control console, command chair, and an interface helmet in the center. But later, Hank McCoy adapted those designs into a more powerful version, which he dubbed Cerebra. Originally an egg-shaped amplification chamber which housed a control chair and interface helmet, Cerebro was designed to boost the user's telepathic activity to a global range, representing mutant signatures as points of light on a virtual world map, with the height of each point indicating the relative power level of an individual mutant. Cerebro could not only locate and catalog mutants, but could also holographically recreate an individual mutant's recent memories as well. During the Krakoan age, Xavier asked the mutant inventor known as Forge to help him vastly improve Cerebro. Instead of merely searching for mutant minds, Xavier wanted Cerebro to maintain them, essentially creating a perfect copy of every mutant mind on the planet, regularly updating Cerebro with multiple redundancies and no upper limit on its volume. Now mind you, Forge had updated Cerebro during his time with an X-Men back in the early 90s and was able to do so once more here, updating the system with Shi'ar technology to give it unlimited power and unlimited storage. He also designed a portable helmet for Cerebro that Xavier constantly wears, and he does so because he's doing backups of mutant minds nearly 24/7. Danger. The original Danger Room was a training facility with a series of mechanical traps and robots designed by Professor Charles Xavier in his school to test his X-Men's powers. Xavier later incorporated highly sophisticated technology from the alien Shi'ar Empire into the Danger Room. This technology allowed users to create solid light holographic images of any environment or combatant. However, while programming the Shi'ar technology software, Xavier discovered that it was sentient. But he couldn't find a way to separate the artificial intelligence from the Danger Room's programming that it was shackled to, and as a result, Xavier ignored the sentience and forced it to comply with the base programming of the room. So in each Danger Room simulation throughout the years since the Shi'ar upgrade, it would repeatedly attempt to defeat the X-Men. However, an overriding code prevented it from killing anyone present in the Danger Room. And for decades, every mutant who trained within the Danger Room had their decisions and moves recorded by the computer to create a comprehensive database of their powers and fighting skills. But an eventual glitch in the Danger Room's programming allowed the sentience to assert itself. One student, a mutant named Wing, who was depowered at the time, committed suicide within the room thanks to the sentience communicating to him through a holographic projection. The student's death within the room broke the programming safeguard, and then the Danger Room's command core was physically destroyed. But this action completely freed the sentience and allowed it to assume a physical form resembling a female, and from then on dubbing itself as Danger. Danger is now a wireless consciousness, a living data stream that inhabits mechanized forms. She can project her own sentience protocols into other mechanical systems. This allows her to create new bodies for herself and incorporate new materials into existing bodies. She can even abandon her current body and transfer her consciousness into a new frame constructed within her broadcasting range. Danger automatically assimilates the existing properties of whatever she incorporates into herself. For example, hyperdense break-world metal plating, warship targeting systems, etc. But she can also reprogram and reconstruct herself to create new weapons and features. Her bodies possess superhuman strength and significant durability in most cases, as well as flight capabilities. Reconfiguration allows her to create blades, shields, energy weapons, and so forth out of her hands and convert into non-humanoid vehicles or other machine forms. She was programmed for analysis and adaptability, able to assimilate vast amounts of information and create tactical scenarios to overcome virtually any opponent. Danger can then use her reconfiguring capabilities to create the proper tools necessary to use against her opponents. She naturally has copious amounts of data on the X-Men and their capabilities from countless hours of Danger Room training. Danger maintains her Shi'ar hard life holographic capabilities, allowing her to create artificial sensory stimuli and environments. This ranges from being able to disguise herself as a human to casting an entire town into an elaborate danger room simulation environment, with constantly shifting buildings, participants, and spatial dimensions. Danger's sentience protocols can be used to interface with other computer systems, download information, or bend them to her will. They can also create genuine machine life, like herself, endowing a rudimentary consciousness to inanimate mechanisms. Some fun facts. The Danger Room dates back to the days of the original X-Men, at which point it was nothing but a standard gymnasium with robots. Though who Xavier commissioned for the robots and mechanical systems for the Danger Room back then is unknown. Tony Stark perhaps? Reed Richards? Who knows? But the Shi'ar upgrade happened at the same time of the Cerebro upgrade, and Xavier knew about the sentience of the Danger Room but ignored it, because he didn't know which lines of codes to erase without hurting the AI. Hell, if he couldn't figure it out, Forge could have done it. Doug Ramsey could have done it. As many times as both of those mutants have been in the Danger Room control room, they had to have seen something. The Danger Room coming to life was really cool, but people write too many philosophical think pieces on why it has a female incarnation. There's really a simpler explanation. Cerebro was a male, so it was only logical to make the Danger Room a female. Next, the all-new, all-deadly X-Men. When Bastion's Operation Zero Tolerance ransacked the Xavier Institute, they accidentally caused the X-Men's mutant-detecting computer, Cerebro, to become a self-aware mobile entity. This Cerebro could create multiple bodies for itself, but could also create other kinds of extensions, such as the all-new, all-deadly X-Men constructs. Each one of these quote-unquote X-Men were a nanotech construct split off from Cerebro's core essence and guided by a pre-programmed set of memories and powers based off of Cerebro's files, mixed together into a new composite identity. The nanotech allowed Cerebro to replicate virtually any set of mutant powers on record, and the identity programming was so extensive that the all-new, all-deadly X-Men actually believed themselves to be mutants recruited by Xavier himself. But who are they? Addison Falk, aka the Grey King, demonstrated psionic powers, manifesting telepathic and telekinetic abilities through a fiery aura similar to the Phoenix Force. He possessed a superhuman intelligence as well as the power to neutralize the abilities of others, limiting their thought processes and blocking their powers for a time. He was based off of Cyclops and Jean Grey. Daniel Dash, aka Chaos, he radiated a psychoplasmic force from his eye, generating a concussive shockwave in the direction that he was looking. The effect was very similar to Havoc's plasma effect, as was his appearance. Mercury could transform himself into liquid metal, assuming a superhumanly strong and durable form where he could also extend his fingers into razor-sharp spikes. His abilities also included magnetism, allowing him to manipulate metallic substances from a distance. He was based off of Magneto and possible future mutant Cecily Kincaid, also codenamed Mercury. Sister Joy, a nun, aka Rapture, had the blue skin and red hair of Mystique, but large feathered wings like the Angel, which allowed her to fly. Cristal Lemieux, aka Crux. She created a bipolar temperature effect that covered one side of her body in flames and the other half in ice. She could project heat energy as well, causing her targets to melt or burst into flames or freeze them into solid blocks of ice. She was based off of Sunfire and Iceman. Lee Broder, aka Landslide, had oversized hands and feet in addition to a massive waistline. But despite this, he was incredibly agile and possessed superhuman strength, endurance, and resistance to physical harm. His powers resembled the Beast, but his blonde hair and semi-feral appearance resembled Sabretooth. Some fun facts, or rather some fun opinions. Even though they had only 2 appearances, I first had thought that these guys were real. I thought they were actual mutants too. But I'm kind of glad they're not. They seem kind of cornballish. Yeah, too cornballish to be X-Men. Okay, here are some of the differences between Danger and Cerebro. Danger was an ascent alien life form that was shackled to the programming parameters of the Danger Room system. But at her core, Danger had free will and drive. However, it couldn't implement it until it developed ways to negotiate around the programming blocks that Charles Xavier had installed in her machine consciousness. Now, Cerebro was a computer program accidentally corrupted and given mobility by Sentinel nanotechnology. Although it made claims of sentience, Cerebro was still just following the prime directive of its programming, to locate and catalog mutants, although at this point it was doing so in a literal sense. Both of them are artificial intelligences, but they're not Skynet level dangerous, even though they both had a creepy father fetish for Charles Xavier. They're both capable of machine logic and human thought. For example, Cerebro Prime felt emotionally overwhelmed and dispersed after experiencing every brain pattern on the planet. Danger felt guilty for the manner in which she gained a body, namely by talking a mutant into killing himself. She's also had an affair with Madison Jeffries, but that aside. Both Cerebro and Danger, before their bipedal states, they've been upgraded by the likes of Charles Xavier, Forge, and most notably Shi'ar technology. It's even been posited that all Shi'ar technology is sentient. If that's the case, we won't ever have to worry about the X-Men's Blackbird aircraft ever becoming a transformer. Forge, he designed that one himself, and so far as I know, it's never been touched by Shi'ar technology. Other differences? Cerebro locates mutants. The Danger Room trained mutants. Both systems have large, comprehensive databases on mutants and mutant powers. Cerebro keeps copies of mutant brain patterns, which is what allowed the Krakoan resurrection process. Danger has patterns of fighting styles and powers, allowing it to predict and counter moves. And both had their databases updated regularly. And Cerebro Prime could simulate extensions of life through nanotechnology, and Danger could do the same through holographic hard light projections. But who would win? Danger, because it already has fighting styles programmed into it. Alright, Shackhousers, that's what I got for you this week. For next week, I'm going to tell you what I'll be doing right now. What I'm going to be doing is a comparison of all the electrical generating mutants out there. So tune in next week, it's going to be a shocker. Later!
Mansion, apartment.
Shack house. Yes!